Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. There's been something on my mind lately, a lot longer than lately actually. And if you've had a baby in the past, let's just say 10 years, then I'm sure you at one point or another have been a part of, in some way, the mommy wars. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about everyone trying to tell you how to raise your child like you're some kind of moron or something. And I'm not talking about the ones who tell you that maybe you shouldn't have your 8-month-old forward facing, because car seat safety is not necessarily a parenting style. I mean, it's like, this is your kid. Your kid needs to be in the proper car seat for their age. Bottom line. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those women who have, not just women, but family members, maybe whoever, these random people or family members that have told you, oh, you're raising your kid wrong because you did this or because you don't do that. That's what I'm talking about. I've been a mom for almost 14 years now, and whenever I had my first daughter, either I was just blissfully unaware that this was going on, or maybe it wasn't as big as it is now. Come to think of it, when Sarah was born almost 11 years ago, it wasn't really a thing either, to my knowledge. It's the first time I really noticed it is right around the time Brooklyn was born 7 years ago. So whenever I say the past 10 years, it probably isn't exactly that long, but like, you know, a rough number. But yeah, when I had my first two kids and I had Autumn and Sarah, it wasn't like people just like respected everyone else's decisions. Like, for example, I have a cousin who is 3 days older than Autumn. It's kind of a long story, but my uncle's second wife was younger than him and they had a baby. Anyway, but yes, my cousin, who's more like a niece than a cousin, was born 3 days before Autumn. I chose right off the bat to breastfeed her. Ultimately, I was unsuccessful, but that was my choice. Whereas my, at the time, aunt had chose to formula feed her daughter right off the bat. There was zero judgment. That's what she chose for her family, for her daughter, and I didn't judge her, she didn't judge me. It's just kind of how it was. And same thing with Sarah. That same uncle has a daughter, what, about 10 months younger than Sarah. Again, I chose to breastfeed. I was more successful that time. And her mom, again, chose to formula feed right off the bat. And it honestly was not a big deal. The same goes for choosing to cloth diaper or stuff like that. And actually this video, I kind of got the idea of it when I was going through my videos and I was looking at the controversial parenting tag, which I will link down below my video if you want to go and watch that. Because that, to me, is kind of like, it's kind of the same thing. These are the things that people fight about. I, myself, like I said, I've been judged for things, and I have also, regrettably, judged for things. Things at the end of the day really aren't my place to be judging for, the things I shouldn't be judging for. It just seems like you can't make any decision. You know, oh, am I going to have an epidural or have an all-natural birth? Am I going to cut my 2-year-old daughter's hair, or am I just gonna let it grow forever? And these are things that are, they're big decisions, but they're not like, it shouldn't be open for discussion for everyone. Now, however, if someone does ask, in my opinion, for information, let's just say about circumcision, okay, that's something that I'm very passionate about. I do not personally believe that medical cause it should be done on a minor, and I mean true medical cause, not, oh, I kept on retracting him and he got an infection, so now I have to. I mean, there are very few, but there are some. That's my opinion. And my son is not circumcised, and he's never had one issue in the 3 years that he's been, almost 3 years he's been alive. But there are people out there who don't really know about it, and they want to be educated about it. Sometimes people believe myths about it, and you try to educate them and say, well, that's not entirely accurate, and they get very defensive about it. Now, I understand that. I completely understand being defensive about your choice. However, if someone is trying to educate you and they're not at all trying to put you down, I don't understand why you have to be defensive about it, why anyone has to be defensive about it. That goes for all kinds of topics. Some people don't truly know all the benefits of breastfeeding, or that continued breastfeeding past 12 months is completely normal, and that the World Health Organization actually recommends breastfeeding for a minimum of 2 years. But again, some people, for whatever reason, are not comfortable with that, and that should be their choice. They should be the one to say, okay, I don't feel comfortable with this, I don't want to do this. Another example comes to mind. My cousin and I have children the exact same age. My cousin's daughter is like 2 hours, I believe, younger than my son. So yeah, they're the same exact age. And again, we chose very, very different things. She had a planned C-section. I, on the other hand, had preeclampsia and was induced. I did not have any type of pain medication. I used Hypnobabies. And again, those are just two options. I totally support her and her option to have a C-section. Her first ended in a C-section, so for her, she wanted to have this baby the same way. That's totally fine. At the end of the day, doesn't change anything. And I chose to breastfeed. He just weaned like 3 months ago. Her daughter, straight bottle feeding. That's totally fine. Again, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's not as judgmental as some people are, but some people will attack you for everything. I've been called a bad mom for putting my kids in timeout. Like just this past weekend, I was called a bad mom because my son was throwing dirt and I put him in timeout. It's like, well, no, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do that. Well, yeah, he needs to learn he can't throw dirt, and I don't want to hit my child. There's all kinds of studies that say you shouldn't. It's psychologically damaging for them. But it's my choice. I'm not gonna have, you know, I'm not gonna do what somebody wants me to do something because they want me to do it or they don't want me to do it. I kind of feel like I'm rambling a little bit here, but anyway, I guess the whole point I'm trying to get across is that I don't understand why, and again, maybe it was going on, but I just didn't realize it because I was younger or I was just so busy. And maybe it's because social media exists so much more now, and pretty much everyone, I mean, YouTube is a social media of extent, and everyone is on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Snapchat now. I mean, there are so many more people we come in contact with a day that, I mean, everyone has an opinion. Of course, we all have opinions. But is it really my place to tell anybody how to raise their kid? Of course not. I'm not a parenting expert. Yes, I have children. Yes, I have been through a lot with my children. I have experienced X, Y, and Z. But I'm not the parent of your child. Only you know your child. I do believe, though, that knowledge is power. I believe every single decision that you do make, you should research it. I mean, look at the pros and the cons, because everything has pros and cons. Every single last decision you have has pros and cons. And if one outweighs the other, in your opinion, then do that. I will, however, say that, say you're for something. Let's just say you're for, just say vaccinations, okay? Just say that you're absolutely 100% pro-vaccine. I do think you should research the vaccines and see what can happen and see the rate at which this particular condition is going around, herd immunity and all of those things. And if at the end of all your research you decide, you know what, maybe I'm not for vaccinations anymore. You need to be okay with that. You need to be okay with being wrong in the beginning, because no one is right all the time. You know, there are many parenting things that I thought I felt one way about, but after research, it's like, you know what? I was absolutely wrong, and now I am 100% on this side of it. And that's okay. It's okay to learn new things. It's okay to be wrong, but I do think that you need to research. You can't let your fear of being wrong stop you from learning something. I don't like this. I really do blame social media for the whole mommy wars. It's so ridiculous, because unless you do everything the exact same way as some of these people, they will tear you down. My best friend baby wore her son for 2 years. I only did for a few months. I don't think, oh, well, she's spoiling her son. She doesn't think, oh, she doesn't love her son. No, we just, well, first of all, my carrier only went to a certain weight, and she had a toddler carrier for her, so a little bit different. But no, she doesn't think that I'm less of a mom, and I don't think that she's less of a mom. I just feel that, you know, for me, this way worked, for her, that way worked, and that's totally fine. My son was potty trained over a year ago. He was potty trained at 21 months. And I know kids roughly his age that are not yet. Some older, some a little bit younger, who are not even near potty trained yet. I don't judge their moms. I don't think that they have lazy moms simply because their kids aren't potty trained. Brooklyn had a pacifier until she was almost 5. A lot of people would say that I'm lazy and I am babying her and whatever, but you know what? She needed it that long. That's fine. Luna let go of hers at a little, like, she wasn't even 2.5 yet. That's fine too. I guess the point of this rambling video that I had actually planned to make a little bit more organized, and it actually came out, is that we need to stop tearing each other down about the choices that we have and build each other up. If you're so secure in your parenting choices, you shouldn't have to tear anyone down. You should just accept people for who they are and the things that they choose to do, even if you don't agree with them. You know, people make decisions all of the time and what they feel are their, I cannot think of a person, unless they're a truly horrible person who's just a monster and gonna abuse their kid, and that person should not have kids, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure most everyone else's opinion. But most decent people truly only have what they feel is best for their kids at heart. Even if you don't agree, just respect their decision, and it's okay to say, you know, well, did you ever consider not doing that? Did you ever consider doing this instead? And maybe they have, maybe they haven't, maybe they didn't know that they could choose X instead of Z. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe you opened up their mind, and maybe they did know. And maybe they still chose to do things this way, which is the opposite of the way you did them. We need to stop attacking each other. We need to stop letting social media dictate how we raise our children. And we just need to build each other up, stop tearing each other down, and respect each other, because that's the only way our kids are going to learn to respect others, is through us. And I don't know about you, but I don't want my kids to go around tearing each other down for everything. I mean, how would you feel if your kid came home and said, oh, mommy, so-and-so said that I was a poopy head because my favorite color is green, their favorite color is red, and green is a wrong color. I mean, you wouldn't like that, and you'd think it was really ridiculous to hear that, because it's ridiculous. And a lot of these things are ridiculous. So, I don't know, it's just my 2 cents on these mommy wars, and how I just can't believe how fast it changed. It went from being respectful of each other, or at least holding your tongue, to now being out and out, in some cases very, very rude. Not in all, because in some cases people are not, and honestly it's those backhanded comments that get me. Those like, oh well, if you want you should do this, or you know, it's just, it's awful. But I see it a lot. I see it almost every single day. And it needs to stop. It needs seriously to stop. Just, I guess back to the whole, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all, because for some people that definitely needs to happen. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Like I said, down below I'm gonna have a link to my controversial parenting tag. You can go and see that and see how I feel personally about all these things. Anyway, like I said, I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.